Hello and welcome to round 6 of the 2017 Formula Virtual World Championship here from Jerez, Spain. My name is Downton and I'll be joined today by Harry Westwood.
Hello.
Let's take a look through the grid then for the 2017 Spanish V-Prix. The second race in a row. It's an all Downton front row lockout with Nathaniel Powers heading Klaas van Snelheid. Puccio Giordano lines up third with Arden Hutchinson alongside on row 2. Enrique Ruiz heads the returning Lewis Ellington on row 3, ahead of Adrian Simon, Alexander Zazolya, Will Hoskins and Finn Schneider rounding out the top 10. Behind them it's Kiara Thunder and Judson Sykes, while Elroy Wagner will start 13th ahead of a disappointed Alar Kanga. 15th is Felix Bayer with Kinnaman alongside, very unhappy with 16th on the grid. Alexei Nowasinki, James Harding are 17th and 18th, with then team by team Halverson and Harrison on row 10 for Meteor, Inman and Davenport row 11 for fun, Matson and the returning Diego Campos on row 12, we'll talk about that in a minute, and then at the back on the final row, Carl Beckenbauer and Jochen van Snelheid. So as we go down to the grid then, we have Nathaniel Powers on the right on pole position, Klaas van Snelheid on the left in second. The lights go out now and we're racing in Jerez. It's a great start by Klaas van Snelheid and he's already through into the lead ahead of Nathaniel Powers. Puccio Giordano trying around the outside of Powers for second place but can't get it, and he's got Arden Hutchinson coming up the inside and challenging for no, he hasn't actually. Hutchinson's side by side with Ruiz, and Ruiz goes around the outside to take fourth. So Klaas van Snelheid leads from Powers, Giordano, Ruiz, Hutchinson and Ellington, who's retained 6th place as one of the Westwoods side by side with Kiara Thunder.
Yeah, that was very risky there. He was all over the curb and he looked like the car was getting very unsettled, so he just backed out of it. But another very tidy start. The Downtons will be pretty happy with it, but the Franklins have, I'd say they've definitely profited, but they've gained, what, 1 place?
Yeah, started 3rd and 5th, running 3rd and 4th. But nonetheless, that's put them in a fantastic position. But up front, it is Klaas van Snelheid with a lightning getaway from second on the grid to jump his teammate. Let's not forget though, he is on slightly softer tyres.
Yeah, so he's going to have to make this work now. He's got the fresh air and he's got to basically try and pull out as much of a gap as possible.
Yeah, as we watch, I believe that was Adrian Simon. I don't think he's made up any ground at all from 7th on the grid where he qualified. So not the best start for the reigning champion. As Klaas leads over the line then, ahead of Powers, Giordano, Ruiz, Hutchinson, Ellington, Simon, Zazolya, who was held on to 8th at the start. Now the rest of the top 10 disappeared, so I don't know.
They just vanished. Yeah, no, it's been a good start actually from both of the firsts. Obviously Hutchinson's only dropped 1 place. The DS cars are looking a bit... They struggled in qualifying yesterday. Kanga's already made up 2 places. I forgot where he qualified.
If you bear with me.
I won't bear with you, I'm a human. Just bear. Ha, ha.
Qualified 14th.
Yeah, so he's made up a couple of places already, and he'll be looking to hopefully get back into the points as soon as possible. Brief yellow flag in Sector 2, but that's gone back in now.
I think the marshals are just having some fun. Not
maybe.
That kind of fun.
I wasn't judging. So...
Yeah, so... I think we've, I don't know if we're quite sure what to expect from today. I think Jerez has always been a far, rather difficult track to overtake on as Klaas sets fast lap, but it's immediately beaten by teammate Powers, who is on the medium tyres as opposed to Klaas's softs. But look how they're pulling away from the Franklin and Giordano already.
Yeah, I mean, they're just pumping in those lap times that are solidly a good few tenths higher than the Franklins, which is surprising because they've proven to be fairly strong here in the past, I think.
Yeah, certainly have. I think what's more interesting is that Powers is currently quicker than Klaas van Snelheid and right on the back of his young Dutch teammate. I'm wondering if we're seeing that the high temperatures here is 30 degrees over here in Spain is is not only going to make the soft tyre wear, but it's actually not really making it very quick at all.
Yeah, obviously it was definitely forecast to be several degrees lower, but it's turned out to be quite a hot day. But we'll see how that affects the tyre degradation and the grip that they can actually get out of the tyres.
Yeah, I think this is what it's really going to do is play havoc with Carl Beckenbauer, who, for some very strange reason, is on the super softs.
Well, he's made up some ground already. He's in 23rd place.
Yeah, bonus, that's 2 positions past Inman and Campos, who, let's be fair, well, that's no achievement.
Yes, obviously Campos back in the Ingram for this race.
Yes, I suppose that's something we should talk about. There's the driver changes while we're still here towards the start of the race, so that you don't just hear us mentioning new names and thinking, well, where the hell did they come from? We have Diego Campos running in the Ingram in place of Nikolai Milkovic, as the 2 Downtons still running nose to tail. Steady on, lads, you've got 65 laps to go. Yeah, Campos doing 2 one-off races this year, here in Spain, obviously his home race, and in the United States, where he will take John Matson's seat, somewhere he's, despite, I think, universally being recognised as one of the worst drivers in Formula Virtual, somewhere he's always gone surprisingly well, including possibly the biggest shock result ever in 2014 when he won.
Yeah, that's one of those races for the history books there. I mean, it's kind of like Olivier Panis winning the 96 Monaco Grand Prix. It's just one of those freak events, but he's one of the few drivers with a win to his name.
Yeah, very much so. And then after those 2 races, and then obviously acting as reserve for the remainder of the season, Diego Campos will actually leave Ingram at the end of this year in a mutual agreement with the team. So I think that's why the 2 races have come about. And the other replacement this weekend is actually the guy we're on board with at the moment, so that worked out quite well. It's Lewis Ellington, who has replaced Aaron Einson at Holmfest.
Yeah, obviously.
We've got Chiara Thunder diving down the inside of, I think that was Felix Bayer, but no, sorry, it's Will Hoskins, but not quite managing to make the move.
No, obviously it's very difficult to overtake here, and that's arguably one of your best chances, but it's always tightening on the exit, so you've got to definitely have the edge on your rival if you want to take that position. But it's a ballsy attempt, and obviously you're not going to get the place if you don't try, so fair play. And I hope we see a bit more of it, because it's been a bit quiet.
Yeah, very strange for opening that for the race, but obviously, as we said at the start, always been difficult to overtake here.
Indeed.
But yeah, so Lewis Ellington in at Holmfest is is an interesting one. He's had obviously he was with AMR last year and had, I think, what can only be described as a shocking season. He was humiliated by Felix Bayer, really.
Yeah.
And made to look a bit of a tool, which is a shame, given that he is a former race winner. You know, he's clearly proved that he's not a slouch. As we now see up front, Powers is just starting to fall back ever so slightly from his teammate. But yeah, so he started this year with the Canaan GP team in Indy Virtual. Had a solid start to the season, running top 5 in the championship. Took pole position actually last time out in what proved to be his last Indy Virtual race at Sebring. And now he's back here.
Yeah, obviously, I'm sure he's very pleased to be back.
And already running strong in 6th position.
Yeah, which is quite surprising. We haven't seen a lot of pace out of that Honkfist car this season. We've seen good pace out of it, but not this level we're looking at now. Same with the firsts, actually.
No, I think I'd agree there. I mean, I was going to say we've seen good results from both of them. Chiara Thunder was 5th for Holmfest in Malaysia, and Hutchinson obviously 3rd for first in China. But both of those did come about with a few retirements.
Absolutely.
So yeah, good point.
But it'll be interesting to see where they can go from here. Obviously, Zolli has already got a first race and some points under his belt, and he'll be looking to grab some more. And judging by his pace over the weekend, he's been looking quite good for it.
Yeah, he certainly has. As the two Franklins getting a little bit closer now. Giordano leading Jerez, both of them running on the medium tyres. We'll go through the tyre compounds in a minute. Actually, we'll go through tyre compounds now because I think that's already starting to shape the race here in Jerez. Just 7 laps in. But the biggest one is, I think, Arden Hutchinson running 5th is on the hard tyre, and I think that's backing up quite a few people behind who are struggling to get by.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same case you can see there with Will Hoskins on the hard tyres. There's a bit of a train forming behind him, but again, not many opportunities to get past. Yeah,
very much so. So if we go through, we have them. On the super soft tyres, as we mentioned earlier, please stop me again if anything exciting happens. Though, given the first 7 laps, I'm not going to hold my breath. Although
we've got Kiara Thunder. No, there was someone going wheel to wheel, I swear.
Although she has got past Will Hoskins.
She has indeed.
As has. Well, no, that's Zazolia in front of them, isn't it?
Yeah, Zazolia has dropped a bit of pace there.
Yes, so Zazolia on the mediums. Not able to keep up with the guys in front, which is interesting.
And obviously now he's going to be going toe to toe with arguably his closest, one of his team's closest competitors. Oh, the Franklins are wheel to wheel, but Giordano comes out on top.
Yeah, so Giordano holds off Ruiz there then, as we have a yellow flag in the second sector, and it's a long one. And in fact, it's still there. So I wonder, are we going to get sight of what's happened? There's clearly been some sort of incident.
What's occurred?
Well, then it's disappeared now. So we'll just keep an eye on the timing screen, see if anyone's changed.
Someone's disappeared from the queue because Kinnaman wasn't behind Kanga.
Okay, so we've got. I mean, top 8 are the same. I find it interesting that Zazolia has dropped back from the group that are stuck up behind his teammate, given that he's on a softer compound than his teammate.
Yeah, that's quite an interesting, because I don't really know how that would have obviously made sense.
Oh, as into the pits comes Carl Beckenbauer after just 8 laps. That's going to be a long race.
Oh dear. You gotta feel bad for him.
Yeah, very much. Kinnaman, he's not had a bad start, has he, actually? He's up to 13th, so that's 3... Elroy Wagner. He's, for some reason, down in 24th.
He's probably had an off-track excursion there.
I'd say that's a safe bet. And Jochen van Snelheid is suddenly 25th as well. So I don't get what's gone on there.
No, he was last, but then Carl pitted, so...
No, he wasn't, because he jumped... Oh, yes, he was. It was Carl that was ahead of him, and then Campbell's, wasn't it? Never mind. Okay, right. Let's go through tyres then. So obviously, as we mentioned, and we've just seen, Carl Beckenbauer's on the super softs. We have Klaas van Snelheid, Adrian Simon, Finn Schneider, Kiara Thunder, Elroy Wagner, Alar Kanga, so both DS cars, James Harding, Johan Harrison, Stuart Harrison, and Jochen van Snelheid on the soft tyres. So they're the ones that will be looking at making up ground, obviously now and later in the race, but it doesn't seem to be happening at this moment in time, with a lot of them stuck in queues.
Mind you, just to butt in very quickly.
Yeah.
Since getting past Will Hoskins, Kiara Thunder hasn't been able to really challenge Zazolia, let alone get past him. And so she's not really feeling the benefits of actually taking that place.
No, well, I think we're seeing that up front as well with...
that might have been the yellow flag. That's an old one.
Yes, that is John Matson on the hard tyres, who absolutely shouldn't be pitting this early. So I wonder if it was Matson. Well, no, Matson and Wagner were quite far apart.
Yeah, but it's possible that...
Maybe there were 2 incidents.
Gosh, that's out of the box thinking, Bradley. Gosh, I hope I'm not coming across as sarcastic.
No, would I be sarcastic?
Sarcasm and subtlety tend to go hand in hand, buddy.
Sarcasm is the lowest form of wit, which
Better
is why I
than
love it so much.
It's a lovely thing. Anyway, tyres and stuff.
Yes. So, yeah, on the mediums we have Nathaniel Powers, Puccio Giordano, Enrique Ruiz, so both the Franklins, Lewis Ellington, Alexander Zazolia, Judson Sykes, Tumo Kinnaman, and Diego Campos. And then quite a few drivers on the hard tyres as well. Arden Hutchinson, who's currently running 5th, and there he's just flashed through with a bit of a train behind him, although it's... Well, Zazolia is actually catching back up now, isn't he? And bringing the rest of his crew with him.
Ooh, that's who's that? That's Simon and Ellington.
Yeah, that was Ellington running a little bit wide. So Hutchinson on the hard tyres, along with Will Hoskins, teammate Felix Bayer, Alexei Novosinki, both the Funds of Inman and Davenport, and John Matson, who we've just seen in the pits early with what I can only assume was damage of some sort. Or a slow puncture. Who knows?
Either or. We'll probably hear from the team after the race. Something to do with the gears not selected
well, here we
properly.
go. This is Wagner then.
Oh, that'll be it. Wait, I bet it's an unsafe rejoin which causes Matson damage.
No.
Oh.
He waited. He actually waited. He's learned his lesson.
Bloody good. It's always good to see when drivers learn from silly mistakes like that.
Which is odd, because that was a very, very strange error. Not something that you'd expect from Elwood Wagner, but then it's not the first time.
No, it's gone away.
Sorry, what were you?
So I was looking at a couple of drivers going side by side down the straight, like further down the order, but they stopped it doing it. Not like that, but like they stopped being side by side.
I get it. And doing it side by side is weird.
Moving on. We've still got the cars running how they were 12 laps ago, pretty much. 11 maybe.
Yeah, let's say 10. But yes, a strange incident from Wagner. But as I say, that's the second race that I can recall that we've seen that this season. Because there were a few strange incidents in China as well.
Yeah, he's not looking that settled. I think maybe he's just getting a bit frustrated in that Lopez. Obviously, it was capable of good results at the start of the year, which he somewhat squandered due to bad luck and just mistakes, like we said. But after that, it's been more a case of, well, the car's not been there. They've struggled in the development phase, and everyone seems to, well, not everyone obviously, but a few teams seem to have bypassed them.
Yeah, certainly do. As up front, past Van Schnellheid is starting to put a bit of distance between himself and his teammate. I think as we get later into the stint, we're seeing, surprisingly, the softer tyres come into their own a bit more. As Arden Hutchinson now has rather a long train behind him that Zazolia has joined, with along with everyone else. As Karl Beckenbauer right up behind his teammate Jochen Van Schnellheid. They may not be fighting for points or decent positions, but there's a little bit of pride at stake between the pair of them.
Oh yes.
If you can call fighting to avoid being last pride.
Well, if you're not last, you can still retain some form of pride, I guess.
Can you?
Dunno. I wouldn't know. I've never finished last.
I'm sure you probably have at some point.
No. I've never finished stone last.
I'm fairly sure I have. Oh, well, into the pits then comes Klaas Van Schnellheid from the lead. So, we've just ticked over to 14, so that was at the end of lap 13. So what does that put the soft-tyred runners on?
5 stops.
Okay, so where's he going? Oh, he's going to feed back out in traffic. He's wheel to wheel with Alexander Zazolia round the outside. Is he going to hold the position from him? He is. However, he is in the queue behind Arden Hutchinson, and that is not going to help him one iota.
That's played right into Nathaniel Powers' side of the garage, and obviously the two Franklins as well. Being on the medium tyres, they won't have to pit until much later, and they probably won't have as much
There's
traffic
Class
to deal
though,
with. Is he going
already
round the
determined to
outside?
make a move. He's around the outside of Adrian Simon, and what a beautiful move from Klaas van Snelheid.
What an absolutely stunning overtake there from the young Dutchman. He just didn't want to sit in this queue for any longer than he had to, and he just found the grip. Amazing stuff, but I think it really shows as we see the track temperature slowly rising, just how easy it is to quickly get grip out of those soft tyres, and I think that is going to prove crucial in the
and he's passed Ellington as well.
Goodness me,
and he's already on the back of Arden Hutchinson.
I think that also goes to show just kind of the pace that Downton car has this season. I mean,
and also the advantage of fresh tyres. Let's not forget that a couple of these, such as Simon, is on warm softs and will be in probably this lap. In fact, there he is.
I mean, look at how much Klaas was thrashing that into the pit lane, though. Not into the pit lane, around the final corner, though. Oversteer on turn-in, that's insane.
Yeah, very much so. But absolutely going for this is the young Dutchman. Chiara pitted on the last lap, along with Klaas van Snelheid. However, a lot of the soft tyre runners have made it to lap 14. What's that? Kanga comes out side by side with one of the funds as Klaas van Snelheid is going to perform the same overtake on Simon on Hutchinson as he did on Simon, round the outside.
Well, like Eminem says, he's gone like two trailer park girls, and he's gone round the outside, but not a third time. But still.
Well, he's got two Franklins in front of him on medium tyres, so he might make it a third time, yeah.
Christ, and look how close he is as well. Mind you, look how much ground they've actually dropped to the guys behind them. They definitely were further ahead than that.
Yeah, certainly seems that that Hutchinson and... I'm tempted to say Hutchinson and gang, because it pretty much is. It's
Hutchinson and co.
Oh, as contact between the Westwood of Finn Schneider and I'm guessing there was small contact. Whatever small contact was.
I'd like to see a replay of that actually. I mean, obviously Finn Schneider's not exactly kept his nose clean lately. Punting off Hutchinson in France.
Yes, he did, didn't he?
No. Yeah, he did. Not his proudest moment, but he was reprimanded by me, if not the stewards. He's now dropping many places. Sorry,
but within a lap, Klaas van Snelheid is onto the back of Enrique Ruiz and looking down the inside of the Brazilian. He's gonna make a move. That was very, very late from Klaas, and he's all over the curb on the inside, which is going to give Ruiz the purchase and the traction to keep the position. But Klaas is not going to take this one lying down, is he? He's going to make those soft tyres work.
Yeah, obviously he's doing his best to get those overtakes, out of the way, because he knows the longer he's sat in that dirty air, the longer he's losing time and grip. Back to that incident between Campos and Finn Schneider. They both had to pit that lap, so I'm guessing they both sustained rather substantial damage. They are now running, I think, in 20th and 21st.
Ah, that's a shame. What tyres were they both on?
Soft and I think medium. Hang on, let me check.
Campos.
No, I'm doing it. I was right.
I'm already there, so.
So we've still got this old queue. Oh, here we are. This is Klaas's favourite spot.
Yeah, it's the next right-hander, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's where. Although Ruiz has covered the outside line, he's
hurt him. That's hurt him on the straight though. Klaas seems to have an opportunity. He's left the door open as Ruiz.
Yeah, but look how
goes for the overtake. Look at the distance he made up. And again, can't find that traction on exit and loses the place that he almost gained.
Yeah, I mean, he gained all of that distance on the brakes, which will be the extra grip from the fresher and softer tyre. But look how Ruiz pulled away on the straight.
Yeah, obviously that curbing is obviously covered in dust and well, that AstroTurf, which doesn't particularly provide fantastic grip, and
No, I meant on the straight beforehand.
he wasn't though.
He was.
No.
He genuinely was. Ruiz was pulling away on the straight.
Okay. Probably because he took a wider line through the previous corner. If he did,
It could have been, as he carried more speed. But yeah, I find that very interesting.
I'm glad.
Thanks for your insightful input. Kiara Thunder is ahead of both the DS Mathershaw cars.
That's a pretty impressive job there by Kiara.
So that must have been the undercut. Because she pitted on the same lap as Klaas van Schouwen, didn't she? Which was a lap before anyone else. As the two Franklins side by side. Ruiz up the inside of Puccio Giordano at the corner where Klaas has been trying to take his 4th place for the last couple of laps. 3rd place even. But it doesn't pay off. Giordano holds what is currently 2nd then ahead of Ruiz. And Klaas waiting as ever for prey.
Yeah, obviously he's got to rethink his approach because whatever he's going to try at that hairpin, Ruiz has got himself set up to defend against it. So he's got to find a different place to overtake, which is quite a big ask at this circuit. We ride on board with Adrian Simon following the Holmqvist of Kia, that one. I tried.
Yeah, I think you made a very good point earlier. It's so interesting that these squabbling Franklin pair and Klaas are not pulling away, and in fact almost being caught now by the train led by Arden Hutchinson on the hard tyres.
Yeah, they're losing so much time squabbling with each other that it's really starting to hurt them, and their tyres aren't going to be looking any better for this at all. Is Ruiz going to give it another go?
No, I think he's going to stay put. Oh, it's
he's
Klaas down the inside again. And he's done it.
Surely got the place. Finally manages to make the overtake, albeit off the circuit.
Yeah, but we're used to that.
Well, yeah. Oh, Klaas is already trying it on Puccio Giordano, who's having absolutely none of his antics. And
although he's very wide there as he looks to get any kind of advantage he can on the Italian. But
I get that Klaas is obviously enjoying himself and pushing that car to his limits, but he's being a little too liberal with the track limitations.
It's getting close. It's also, I think, it's getting close to sort of China levels of ragged.
Yeah.
And we know what happened in China where he threw it away.
So he's just got to calm it down on that cockpit.
I think he's just dived to the inside of Giordano at turn 1. He's off the track and he hasn't made the position.
It's not a great spot to overtake because there's a crest as you reach the apex of that corner, so it'll just unsettle the car and just take away your grip. He's got to try where he's comfortable with the car, but he's not got... Well, they're dropping Ruiz a little bit.
Yeah, they are, aren't they? Is he gonna go around the outside? Is he getting with Simon? He is. It's another beautiful overtake from Klaas van Schouwen.
Wow. What a move. What a move.
That's incredible. That kid has just got balls.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, okay, yes, he's been off the track quite a bit, but no one else seems to even be entertaining the idea of an overtake. And he's driving around the outside of people.
I think with all due credit, he's probably got the best car and the best tyres to do so.
That's not the point.
It might be that his is the only car actually capable of doing that at this round.
Well, I mean, okay, but you had two DS Mathershaws earlier on, stuck up behind a Holmqvist and a first. Now, I get that they've made good strides this year, but that good?
Yeah, but when you think about the tyre difference as well, there's a lot of factors, but it was a very good overtake, and I don't want to take away from it. It was fantastic.
And like here, you know, we've got a North Star leading an AMR, a Holmquist, and 2 DS Mattershall. Well, that's... And the North Star's on hard tyres. The 2 DSs are on softs. They should be flying through this. That
Indeed.
DS Mattershall on soft tyres is quicker than an AMR is. There's a bigger speed difference between a DS on soft tyres and an AMR on hards than there is a Downton on soft tyres and a Franklin on mediums.
True, true.
And that's how I'm making that, justifying that to myself.
Okay. Like I say, it was a fantastic overtake, and he's put himself back in second. But how much time has he lost to his teammate? Because this is crucial now. He's already set out quite a gap between himself and the Franklins, and he's going to be looking to close that gap to the leader every single lap, because obviously he'll be in the pits again in roughly 4 laps.
He will, and we're already into the territory that the medium runners are only going to have to make 3 stops.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, if they manage to make the end of this lap without pitting, then they will be on a 3-stop strategy.
And if they make it to the end of the next lap, they could potentially do it on a 2.
That's
23.46, and then their 3rd stop would come on lap 69, but they won't pick. It's the final lap.
No, so it would be a 2-stop.
Yeah. So it's crunch time at the moment.
So maybe the solution for the medium runners isn't to go gun-ho, but rather hold back and make sure those tyres last, because making sure you've got another pit stops advantage, so that would put it up to 3 stops over anyone on the softs. And that's a lot of ground to make up.
Certainly is, and Powers has obviously crossed the line then to end lap 22 and start 23. So he's going to manage 23 laps on his first stint. That's a good start.
Yeah, and that's going to really put Klaas in the hot seat now.
Yeah, he now needs to make up 3. Well, as it stands, 3 pit stops on his teammate. And both Franklins continued on as well. So is anyone on the mediums pitted? I don't believe they have. So we could well be in a position then where, I mean, you know, we're just summarising that the mediums will only last until now. They could well last even longer, and go another few laps, and that will then definitely be 2 stops.
Yeah, which would play absolute havoc with the races of anyone on softs.
Certainly would, and I think it's interesting as well to see where the drivers on hard tyres are going to feed into things. As, into the pits then at the end of lap 23. So right on the bubble between a 2 and 3 stop comes Nathaniel Powers. Where is he going to feed back out though? That is what we've got to keep an eye on, because if it's behind Hutchinson, that is really, really going to hurt his race.
And it could well be, because there goes...
I don't think it is. There goes Klaas, and Powers is going to leave the pits before... Well, I think both Franklins have dived in, and Powers is out well ahead of Arden Hutchinson.
Yeah, so now it's definitely a straight fight, as we see the Franklins making their first stops.
Yeah, so where are they going to feed back out then? Well, there go Kiara Thunder, the 2 DS cars, and there are the 2 Franklins, 12th and 13th.
They're going to struggle there because they're caught behind the hard-tired car of Felix Bayer.
And Alexei Novosinki.
So they've got a lot of work to do.
Interestingly, Lewis Ellington in 4th and Timo Kinnaman in 6th have managed to eke out yet another lap on their medium tyres.
Oh, they must. Are they the only ones?
Yeah.
Wow.
So they're going to be going until the end of lap 24, as we have a yellow flag in the middle sector. Enrique Ruiz is dropping down the field. What has happened to the Brazilian?
Oh, as we've got Adrian Simon trying to go round the outside of Kiara Thunder, and he does it. What a move!
He's been taking lessons from when Klaas did that to him, and he's pulled it off beautifully.
Absolutely. Now, what's going on with Ruiz? Sorry, I'm eating, fellows and lady fellows.
As there we go, into the pits are both Ellington and Kinnaman now. So Hutchinson third, Will Hoskins is up to fourth, Nowasinki fifth, Bayer sixth. Those four are on the hard tyres and have not yet pitted.
What a mess.
And
Ruiz is still running.
Is he? Yes, he is, but down in 22nd. But where? What are we saying? 69 laps, half of that is what? 35. So if the hard tyre runners can make it lap 35 or longer, they're on a one-stop strategy.
Absolutely.
As it stands, it's two. As Kiara Thunder dives to the inside of Adrian Simon. Is she going to take that position back? No, it's difficult to overtake on the inside of that corner, but giving it a go.
Yeah, there's nothing more you can do than try. Now it's going to be interesting to see what this order looks like after the soft tyred runners pit, because I feel like that might be when the hard tyred runners pit.
Here we go then.
Oh,
So Ruiz
he just locked up his brakes.
Yeah, an identical error to Elroy Wagner.
Damn, it looks just like that gearbox problem he suffered with in China.
Yeah, we're not going to go into that. That we're not. What I find interesting is that, I mean, look at this train behind Nowasinki.
Wow.
Jeez, that runs all the way from 5th to 14th.
15th isn't far behind.
No, and 15th is James Harding.
Here we go, we've got wheel-to-wheel action. Ellington gets past Alexander Zazolia.
Yes, and up to, well, that's what, 12th place then? Next on his hit list is Johan Halverson, who, on the soft tyres, is having a cracking race so far, up in 11th place. He's only 2 places behind Al Arkanga. As wheel-to-wheel go Felix Bayer and Adrian Simon. Simon makes up another place. The champion is on a charge at the moment as Kanga looks to the inside of Thunder.
Oh, and we've got Puccio Giordano giving it a go, but no room there. Well, the racing's starting to heat up a little bit.
Yeah, certainly is. We've got some action kicking off now. As I mean, I think a lot of this is tyres now really coming into play. But hey, we've got some action. And it's pretty exciting.
Yeah. So then, Klaas, does that manage to make these tyres go another lap?
Has he? Was that 13, wasn't it?
Oh wait, yeah. So he's gone 14 laps on these.
There's Adrian Simon now all over the back of Alexei Nowasinki for 5th place. As we see a couple of cars just drive around the outside of Johan Halverson. So he's lost a couple of spots there to Lewis Ellington, who's passed Timo Kinnaman. So Ellington on a charge like Simon, and Simon pressuring Nowasinki is actually allowing or forcing the two of them away from the pack slightly.
Ellington was already in front of Kinnaman.
Was he?
Yeah.
Oh, I apologise. As Zazolia is just dropping down standing slightly.
Those hard tyres might be starting to give out, or he's making a pit stop.
He's not on the hard tyres, he's on the mediums. Oh, as Simon, as Klaas van Snelheid pits, just as we see Adrian Simon go around the outside of Alexei Nowasinki and into 5th place. That is absolutely crucial because it was Nowasinki that was really holding them up. And Simon can now break away and catch up to the back of Will Hoskins, who has caught right up to Arden Hutchinson.
There we go, the battle for 3rd.
As Klaas van Snelheid comes out, and he's behind Hutchinson. He's managed to
place back very quickly.
Stave off Will Hoskins, but behind Hutchinson, and he will have to make that move quickly.
Absolutely, to minimise the time lost. But if he manages to make up that place, then he's going to be right on the back of his teammate before the end of his stint.
Yeah, he certainly will. Did he come out behind Hutchinson last time as well?
Do you know what? I think he did.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? Because he pulled that brilliant overtake on Simon, and Simon was behind Hutchinson.
Yeah, you're right.
So, so one stop at the moment for class is about the amount of time that it takes him to overtake Hutchinson and pull up the road. And then when he pits, he ends up just behind Hutchinson again. Although, last time he had a few other cars to contend with, didn't he? And this time, he won't, as he's passed Arden Hutchinson through into second.
Hardly surprising there, and now he's going to set about reeling in Nathaniel Powers.
Yeah, and that's suddenly putting what looked like a fairly comfortable advantage for Powers under a little bit of pressure. It'd be interesting to see how those two converge towards the end of the race. If Powers can make it on 2 stops, I think he'll have this quite easy. Into the pits we've got one of the Diaz cars.
That's going to be the soft runner of Al Alcangla.
Oh, of course, they're both on softs, aren't they?
Oh yeah. That old chestnut. So now the top 10, there's only one soft runner left in the top 10, I think.
What's Bayer on? Not Bayer, Sykes.
Sykes on mediums. Get past Yara Thunder.
Yeah, Sykes is on medium. So yeah, you're quite right. There's only one soft-tide runner in top 10.
I think that tells you a lot about the weakest tyre today. Obviously, they have only just made their pit stops though, so I'll take that back.
Yeah. Although, I mean, if we look at it, there's what we think there's going to be at least 2 stops between the softs and the mediums.
That's Jochen van Snelheid.
Was it?
I think so. No, it might have been.
Oh, that's Felix Bayer without a wheel.
That you're not gonna go very fast like that, mate.
What has happened there? Oh, and that's Giordano without a wheel as well.
Oh dear.
I'm gonna put 2 and 2 together and say there's been contact.
You could be right, Bradley. You could be right.
Oh, and Giordano then, for his second time in 3 races with Franklin, is going to retire. And that is absolutely not what you'd have wanted at all.
Yeah, it's a big shame, but...
and let's have a look then.
Oh, that's just silly.
I'd like an onboard of that. Thank you. Oh, what was Giordano playing at?
It's ridiculous. And then he, well...
Look, Bayer gave him so much room, he wasn't even on the racetrack.
No. It's just... That's just silly. That is, honestly, I know I've said that already, but that's just ridiculous. That's not the kind of thing we like to see.
Yeah, that's very, very stupid from Puccio Giordano.
As we watch Zazolia go down the inside of, I think that's Judson Sykes.
Yeah, and that's going to cost him, and he's now lost out. No, he hasn't.
Close though. Simon obviously very close, ready to pounce, but Zazolia gets blocked off around the inside. He's outside even. He's looking for that gap every single corner. Sykes has probably never felt pressure like this in his life.
No, he's certainly having to contend with a bit at the moment, as is his pursuer's teammate Arden Hutchinson, who has Will Hoskins still right behind him.
Yeah, obviously he's done well to hold station so far.
I have to say, I'm incredibly impressed by this so far. You think, looking at practice and qualifying times from the last few races, that first has been quite far ahead of the AMR. So for Hoskins to be putting Hutchinson under pressure with the 2 cars on the same tyres is an incredible effort.
Might just come down to experience and stamina at the end of the day today, but we'll certainly see how that unfolds. Now they're very rapidly approaching that mark where they'll only have to make 1 stop, which would put them arguably at an advantage over the medium runners.
Oh, if the... Yeah, because, I mean, you think those medium runners don't look to be as... down the inside of Zazolia, goes Adrian Simon. Can he pull that off? It's been difficult to overtake there, and no, he can't. So Sykes, Zolia, Simon remains the order there then.
Yeah.
How has Kinnaman managed to jump them all? Just out of interest. Ellington as well.
Well, yeah, they've been pretty much nose to tail before that incident with Bayer and Giordano. How very curious. This could be a brilliant showdown for 6th and 7th.
Yeah.
As exciting as that sounds.
But I'm quite intrigued by that one.
Well, yeah, you think they've made up ground on like Ruiz and...
I mean, admittedly Ruiz had that spin, didn't he?
Oh yeah, I forgot that. Silly goose.
And I suppose actually, looking at it, they're on the mediums. There aren't really any other medium-tired runners around them. So maybe it's not as impressive as it looks, as Ellington has just gone past Nomosinki. I wondered why they'd suddenly split up.
Because they couldn't make the relationship work anymore, Bradley.
Oh, and in fact, that is the three of them, isn't it? That was Ellington, Nomosinki and Kinnaman.
Damn straight. I don't know. Justin Sykes still under heavy pressure from Zazolia. What a fun name to say.
I know, it's beautiful, isn't it?
Zazolia. No, not like that.
But having said that, as you mentioned, we are getting very, very close now to that point where drivers on the hard tyre will only have to make one stop. Ellington, on the mediums, has only just passed Nowosinki, and there's still quite a gap between him and Hoskins. If they only make one stop, the medium-tired runners are looking, possibly at 2, aren't they? So this is technically, if we look at the view that all of them only have one more stop to take, this is 4 position.
Yeah. I suppose you wouldn't be wrong there, actually.
We could, and the soft tyres I think are really gonna struggle. They've still got 3 more stops to make, guaranteed.
Oh, as we're looking at Kinnaman running wide there. Yeah, so that could really hurt any of the soft-tired runners.
We could be looking at a really strange result here.
The America Spain. No, that's not the title. Somebody who's good at titles make a title for it. But yeah, that would be, well, I'd say the weirdest finish in quite a while.
Yeah, aside from obviously the top 2 at the moment, as long as they keep it on the track.
Well, I'll be interested to see. Oh, so Glass isn't making up the ground that he thought that he needs to, really.
No, he's not, is he?
Maybe those tyres just aren't. They're just starting to go out of their working range. Obviously, we've heard teams use that phrase in the past, but it's only really probably coming back into what's the word I'm looking for?
The window.
Becoming relevant again.
No, I thought you were going to say the window.
Why is there a window involved?
Well, that's always what they call it, isn't it? That's what teams call it. The working,
like a pit window.
The
maybe.
working window. No? Okay. I think what's interesting, and it's probably related to the fact that, obviously, as you mentioned earlier, the track temperature's gone up. It's now 31 degrees. We actually haven't seen a fastest lap update since Nathaniel Powers said it on lap 2. Which is quite interesting. As we see there, Sykes then has still got Alexander Zazolia behind him at the moment. The Ukrainian struggling to make his way past. In fact, Sykes has actually gained that position on merit, hasn't he? Both of them running on medium tyres, and the soft-tired runners of Simon, Thunder, and Kanga are not making progress. As I do believe, is that Elroy Wagner dropping down the standings again? I think at the side might just be a position switch. As although we have the 2 Lopez's running nose to tail, both on the same soft tyres, considering Wagner span earlier and threw away a lot of time. Going to be back up with Harding. Yeah, well, how's Diego Campos getting on in his? Oh, as the two of them are having a battle with Carson Davenport, and they've both managed to go past the fun on running on the hard tyres. And we are into the point where those on the hard tyres will only have to make the one stop. Powers, in the lead of the race, has just crossed the line to start lap 36. So if any of them even come in at the end of this lap, the hard tyre runners, they will only do, as long as they can make their the hard tyres in the second stint last the same number of laps as they have this time round, they will only do one stop. And in does come Arden Hutchinson. Hoskins in fourth has not pitted, so how is this going to affect things? Will Hutchinson get the undercut, or will Hoskins be able to get his foot down for a lap and make the most advantage of that and come out ahead of Hutchinson? Lewis Ellington is going to go through into fourth then on the mediums. Kinnaman follows him in fifth, and where will Hutchinson feed back out? He's fed back out in sixth place. That's well ahead of everyone else, and he's just made what could potentially be his only stop of the race. This could work out to be an absolutely brilliant strategy. The hard tyres for Arden Hutchinson, who now looks on for his second podium finish.
Yeah, obviously that's really put Hutchinson right in the control seat, because obviously besides the Downtons, that puts him in a net third, I'd say.
Oh my god, thank god you're back.
Yes, just had some technical difficulties and a dog. Here comes Azolia, putting pressure on Sykes again. Takes to the off-track rumble strip, but can't take place. And Simon can't capitalise. It's like a never-ending cycle. It's like Groundhog Day. Oh, here we go. Simon round the outside.
Oh, beautiful. And Kiara Thunder nope. Well, she tried. And unfortunately, she's now lost out to Enrique Ruiz, who pulls that beautiful overtake on the outside.
Now then, let's see where Will Hoskins is going to feed out in relation to Arden Hutchinson. We know he's going to drop a place to Ellington and possibly Kinnaman. Oh dear. Oh dear.
Hutchinson's long gone through. That.
So the undercut's quite. Oh, mind you, it's not. Well.
yeah,
well,
Hoskins was right with him. That has massively backfired.
So it looks like the undercut has quite a big effect here. Now we'll see if Hoskins is able to close that gap again.
I say the only advantage Hoskins has here is that, I mean, Hutchinson pitted at the end of lap 35, so he has to make. Well, no, even if those tyres only go 34, he's going to make it to the end. And even if they only go 33, he's going to make it to the end of lap 68. And he wouldn't pit with a lap to go. So, yeah, I think, yeah, they're definitely going to be on one stop, aren't they?
Yeah. So that's going to put the pressure back onto the medium-tired runners of mainly Ellington and Kinnaman to see what they can do to challenge for that, this is weird to say, but that podium spot.
Yeah. And let's just put this into perspective.
Zazolia finally puts the move on Sykes. Sorry to interrupt. Sykes takes him back around the outside. Now Ruiz has put him under pressure, and Chiara's, wow, they're all over the place.
Yeah, and did we see Simon go past Sykes?
No.
I don't think we did. We saw him pass Zazolia.
Yeah, because Zazolia sort of was. I forgot. Oh yeah, because Simon went around the outside. I'm with you now. I'm with you.
Yeah, so obviously we have a podium battle here. I mean, we even though Simon is now up to 7th and clear of the traffic, he's on the soft tyres and has 3 more pit stops to make. So we've got to rule him out, really, unless he's going to find some kind of superhuman speed. But we now have a battle for the podium between Lewis Ellington in the Holmquist, Timo Kinnaman in the Westwood, Arden Hutchinson in the first, and Will Hoskins in the AMR.
Yeah, obviously Holmquist will be looking to pick up their first podium, while Hutchinson will be looking to take his second of the season.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what to make of that. I think this is brilliant.
Fantastic at the end. Here we go, Zazolia
Oh.
defends around the outside, and Ruiz loses a spot to Kiara Thunder and to Alarkanga.
And potentially to Halverson as well. Nope.
No, slams the door on Halverson, says, I'm not losing any more places than that, sunshine. So he's lost a point-paying position there. That's not good.
Yeah, I think this is, this is what we see when we have trains of cars like this. You make a move, and or you make an attempted move, and if it doesn't come off, you are at serious risk of losing all of the places of people that are right behind you. As the two Ocelots side by side and wheel to wheel, good on them, having a little scrap.
Keeping the battle for the wooden spoon entertaining.
Very much so. I just noticed Beckenbauer. We're just over half distance. He's already on 4 pit stops.
Yes. And we've got Finn Schneider having fun with the Lopez's. But yeah, like you say, Carl, not having a fantastic afternoon in that Ocelot. I feel like it's only going to feel like an even longer afternoon for him. Oh,
yes.
We've got Milkovic in the pits.
Campos.
Oh yeah, I can't read.
Well, I mean, you can. To be fair, it does say Milkovic on the side of his car, because it is still Milkovic's car. It's just obviously Campos is in it for this weekend.
He's borrowing.
Oh, there's a spin.
That's not good.
That's Zazolia.
Thanks, Echo. I'm funny.
Funny.
So it looks like he's possibly trying to make a move that hasn't paid off for him there.
Move that hasn't paid off for him there.
Thanks, Echo.
Echo. Moving swiftly on.
Look at this though, the medium runners haven't been able to gap to the hard runners, which isn't fantastic for them.
No, it's not really, is it?
No.
Who have we got
this
on?
could be...
Where did Nowasinki feed back out in? 14th. Okay. We'll keep an eye on that.
I feel like that's not where I feel like that's a bit abnormal.
Yeah, well, I mean, he was... When none of them were pitted earlier, well, he was 5th, wasn't he? Behind Hutchinson and Hoskins.
Yeah.
And obviously the 2 Downtons who are out front. But, that's Kiara Thunder attempting a move on Judson's side. But obviously, as we know, it's difficult to overtake on the inside there.
Yeah, obviously getting the position itself on entry is fine, but trying to maintain it with the traction on exit is not so easy because it's such a tight angle.
Oh, that Arden Hutchinson has caught up to the back of Timo Kinnaman and Lewis Ellington on those fresh hard tyres.
Or is he literally right on the back of them now?
Yeah, and that will, I think that absolutely puts in no doubt that this podium battle has pretty much ended already and gone to Hutchinson. Unless, as we said with Simon earlier, Ellington and Kinnaman can find some kind of incredible pace once they make their next pit stop on their last stint on the medium tyres.
Which doesn't seem overly likely.
No, it doesn't really, does it? As I've just noticed Klaas has made his 3rd pit stop.
I think that's probably handed the victory to Powers.
Well, yeah, they are now both. I mean, well, no, Powers potentially on a 2 stop, wasn't he? Whereas Klaas we know is on 5, so he could still have an extra pit stop to make, and he's quite a distance back. So, yeah, quite right. I think Nathaniel Powers has this one fairly comfortably in the bag. Where in fact, yeah, he's round turn 2, 3, and Klaas hasn't even started the same lap yet.
Oh my. Well, that's the race for the lead sorted. Now the battle for 3rd place between Hutchinson and Hoskins.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, I'm going to be cynical here and say I think this is going to be Hutchinson comfortably. Yeah. It's, they're on the same tyres. The first is arguably proved over the last few races that it's the quicker car, and we have very few overtaking points here. I don't see how Hoskins can make a move.
I'm going to try and guess the finishing order. So we're going to have Powers, Van Snelheid. Then we'll have Hutchinson, then Hoskins, then Ellington, then Kinnaman. Then I think we're going to have Ruiz. Then possibly Sykes or the DSs. I don't know what order they'll be in, so I'm just throwing them in at the bottom of the top 10. Unless there's anything that the Meteors have to say about that.
Yeah, I have to say, you know, they've had a bad season. Let's not sugarcoat it. I don't think there's any point in sugarcoating it. After last year, where they finished runners-up, this year has been a bit of a disaster so far. But both of them have thus far put in a really strong performance. They're running 11th and 12th. Admittedly, a few people behind them have thrown it off the road. But
hey, that's their fault for throwing it.
Exactly. You know, you need a little bit of luck in this game. And with a bit of luck, an extra bit of luck, maybe one of them can sneak a point. And in fact, Hamilton goes into 10th.
Oh, hello, we're having pit stops. We're all getting confused. Kanga pits. Of course, the soft-tired runners will be pitting.
Well, yeah, this will be their third stop, won't it? I mean, Klaas pitted a couple of laps ago.
I forgot it.
So he's really chewing through his soft tyres, isn't he?
Yeah. I suppose that's all he can do. I mean, he's safe in second. He may as well gun for the win.
Yeah, because it's going to be a fairly comfortable fight. It's not like they're on the verge of a sixth stop, is it?
No.
So I suppose he can push that little bit harder, pit a couple of laps earlier, and just try and close that gap to Powers.
Yeah.
Oh, as we have side by side Ruiz and Judson Sykes, and that's Ruiz trying to take that, and that'll be a position on merit because they're both running on the medium tyres.
Wow, this is good to watch.
Wow, who'd have thought you'd have ever said that? Powers, no, not Powers, nothing to do with it. He's out front on his own. Ruiz in a Franklin battling with Judson Sykes in a North Star for position.
Just wow, really.
Have you got a frog with you?
Yeah, yeah. Whoops.
Crikey.
Oh, we're going to be approaching the window. See, I said your word. For the medium-tired runners to make their final pit stop.
Yes, lap 44. As maybe I was too soon to rule out a battle for third, because Will Hoskins has caught right up to the back of Arden Hutchinson.
Yes, but what kind of pressure was he putting on Hutchinson?
Well, when they came out of the pits, he'd lost quite a bit of time, wouldn't he? So he's obviously been quicker to catch up, because that's how it works. Just for any of you out there that are confused on that.
I think a lot of our viewers are familiar with the way race and time stuff works. I don't know the words for it myself, but...
Well, I'm just making sure.
Always good. Encouraging new viewers as well.
Exactly, see? We might have someone who has joined and never watched anything before and is totally stupid who has no idea. So...
And that's the great way to retain them, Bradley. That's how you keep your customers, even though they're not paying anything. That's how you keep your viewers.
So that's why everyone walked out at my last job.
Yeah. That's possibly why.
Oh.
Oh well. I'd say their loss, but...
Well, it was. Well. Yeah, we'll move on. We're on to lap 45 then here, and the medium-tired runners have... Well, no, they would have done, wouldn't they? Because they were on the verge of a two-stop.
Yeah, so we'll be
23, so it should be the end of lap 46 we're looking at. Powers is in already, though.
Ooh, that's
end of lap 45.
So he's got to make those tyres go 24 laps.
Now that's going to be interesting.
The hard tyre runners versus the medium tired runners is the reason that they might be catching up so fast is that the mediums are at the end of their lifespan.
So yeah, very much so.
In first, quite comfortably with
Well, there's class.
Well, yeah, true. That could actually be quite interesting, especially if Powers can't make those tyres last that 24 laps.
Maybe that's not quite a foregone conclusion, and something we'll just have to keep an eye on.
Yay, excitement! That's what I'm here for, the entertainment factor.
As we move on to lap 46 then, and the medium tyre runner's still not pitted, so I'd set, aside from Powers up front, both, do you know, actually, that's an interesting point. We've seen this quite a bit from Downton this season. They seem to go through their tyres quite a bit quicker than anyone else. I mean, it's only a couple of laps, but those couple of laps could make quite a difference at some stage.
Yeah, their car is very demanding, obviously, there's no argument about it, the fastest car on the grid.
Yes.
There's going to be some effect on the degradation of the tyres from that.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
It's a very well put point. You should be congratulating me on articulating myself correctly. Yay, I love being clapped. That sounds...
Yeah, that sounded wrong.
You sounded wrong.
Well, thanks for that. Class is leading. Class is leading. Powers has spun.
Dear.
Nathaniel Powers has spun and thrown away the lead of the race at the final corner while trying to lap one of the back markers, and Klaas van Snelheid is into the lead of the race. And if we thought it was getting interesting before, it's certainly interesting now.
And it's also, don't forget, Powers didn't pit at the end of lap 45, he pitted at the end of lap 44. I think. I don't know, I'm confused.
No, I think it was 45.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
It was like 2 laps ago. Oh. Yeah. Oh, hello. That's not bad.
Yes, oh, so that was, sorry, in that excitement I missed that. Timo Kinnaman has just pitted and come back out in 6th place on the medium tyres. And he's pitted a lap before Lewis Ellington. I wonder if he can make the undercut work here. We've seen it quite effective so far.
Simon could arguably challenge Kinnaman for a little while until he has to make another pit stop.
He could do, yeah, but I think that's crucial for Kinnaman that he's got out in front of Simon.
Definitely. Obviously, that's Kiara Thunder. She's on the back of Alexei Novosinki. Oh, I'm getting good at this. I can read now.
Well, to be fair, there is a list of standings at the side. Okay, yes, well done, Harry.
Oh, yeah.
Into the pits then comes Ellington. So this is going to be critical now as to where he's going to feed back out in relation to Kinnaman. Hutchinson will go through into what we believe is, what is 3rd place and what we believe he will probably hold, with Will Hoskins right up his rear wing. Round the final corner comes Timo Kinnaman then, who is going to have 5th place. Kinnaman down the start-finish straight. He's got the speed. Ellington is leaving the pit lane. I think it's going to be Kinnaman, and it is by quite a distance. And Ellington has actually fed out behind Adrian Simon.
That's not good. So Ellington's going to have to work hard now to put pressure on Timo Kinnaman, who's made the undercut work.
As they all seem to. Nathaniel Powers on... Okay, he's on fresh mediums, isn't he, now? But on catching up to Klaas van Snelheid on the slightly more worn soft tyres.
And just look at the speed they're taking through these corners in the last sector. Obviously, they're quite high-speed corners, but just look at the balance in that chassis. It's just so well set up.
Well, thank you.
Complimenting the drivers.
Well, the engineers set the cars up.
The drivers do have the majority of the input.
Yes, but the engineers put the base setup on the car and the drivers refined it.
Alright. Bummer.
And I was taking, I was saying thank you on behalf of the entire team, drivers included.
Good.
So yeah.
So yeah. Sorry. It's like I'm back in like secondary school.
Secondary? I was aiming for primary.
Never say that again, Bradley.
No, I didn't mean it like that.
Moving very swiftly on from dangerous topics.
Ruiz is 16th. I know he's just
That's
made
not
his
bad.
second pit stop for medium tyres, but and obviously threw it away earlier. But
Shinoda's in 15th.
yeah, well, he had a spin as well, didn't he?
Yeah, but he was down in like 23rd, 22nd.
Well, yeah, but the cars at the back are ridiculously slow.
Yeah, but so is... I don't... Your face is slow.
Zazolia is
Oh.
18th.
Yeah, he seems to have just been struggling ever since he had that incident. Which, did we get a replay of it?
I think. I'm sure we would have done.
Yeah, probably.
Yes, we did. It was no, did we? I don't know.
Why are you asking me? I just asked you.
Well, why don't you know?
Because
As Kiara Thunder passed Alexi Nowasinki, or is she? She's got the inside line. Nowasinki, the outside has proved more popular though, and in fact he has held that position. And Alar Kanga has gained out of that as well.
Yeah, and we just saw Carl Beckenbauer for his 6th pit stop of the day. Poor fellow.
2 to go. Poor Carl.
Nearly there.
At this rate, he's going to be a lap down on his teammate.
Yeah, super softs
Ooh.
might not have been the way to go.
Just an interesting point. The track temperature has just come back down slightly to a relatively cool 30 degrees.
Ooh, is that going to bring the medium runners back into play? Probably not.
The medium runners are in play.
Well, I mean, if we're talking for like 3rd and stuff, possibly.
Well, okay. Well, if we're talking 3rd, then no. But you know, Kinnaman and Ellington are looking at 5th and 6th.
Yeah, obviously Ellington's still stuck behind Simon.
And Nowasinki could be on for a good result as well. Currently 8th place, having made his only pit stop. Although he does
There
have
he is now.
a bit of a train behind him.
Well, you think the pressure from Kanga is going to be relieved in a few laps, and then he's just got to contend with no one because they'll be Judson Sykes. If he
Yeah,
can catch
Sykes
up
will
to
be
that
the next
play.
person, but I can't see Sykes anywhere in that queue. So I do believe his Russian teammate is quite some way behind. But just a note, Halverson as well, still hanging on to the back of Alar Kanga and Kiara Thunder. That's been a cracking race from the Dane. It really has, as we see on board with Will Hoskins, the battle for 3rd then. He's keeping Hutchinson honest, but nowhere near close enough to make any kind of attempt at an overtake just yet. While up front, Nathaniel Powers and Klaas van Snelheid, but the other way round, still running nose to tail.
Yeah, obviously they've been inseparable since that mistake from Powers. So Klaas is definitely trying to hold station, but he needs to do more than that because he's got a lot more pit stops to make. Where Nathaniel Powers at most is going to have to make 1.
Yes, that's a very good point actually. Klaas would ideally be needing to pull away. As past Nowasinki then goes Kanga and Thunder, and well, they've still got a pit again, twice, so he's going to gain those places back.
Yeah.
Although there, actually, just flashing around the corner is Judson Sykes.
Good old Judson.
So his teammate is not that far behind now at all.
No, but I think that just shows how much time you lose in the train as they've got another train catching this train.
Choo choo.
Oh, and you like this.
Yeah.
You should get a fidget spinner.
Meanwhile, and we've got, oh, that's a spin, and that's Kiara.
Kiara.
Oh, Kiara.
You silly goose. Oh,
There was a
Finn in the
Westwood
background.
entering the pits without a front wing as well behind, I saw.
Yeah, Finn seems to have found himself in the
In the walls again?
In the walls, that's what I was looking for. He's been a bit off since France. Obviously, his pace is still there, but
Oh no! I've just noticed Kiara took Halverson's front wing off.
oh no!
So
Oh,
that was
dear.
what happened to Finn. That was just clumsy into the back of one of the Lopez's.
Yeah, I mean they all know that that bump is there. I mean that might just be down to lack of experience, but hopefully there's no damage to Wagner's car.
Yeah, I'm genuinely devastated for Halverson. He was having an absolutely cracking drive.
Well, unfortunately, you were talking about luck earlier, and his luck seems to have run out this race.
What's he done? He's
Very sad for him.
3 pit stops, so he's on, what, the soft tyres?
Yeah.
Yes, how many laps were they lasting?
Don't know,
13.
mate. Yeah, so you'll have to make 2 more stops.
Oh, that's really unfortunate, isn't it?
Yeah. He was driving a really solid race, but unfortunately these things, they happen, and I'm sure there's going to be words with the stewards afterwards about Kiara Thunder there, because, well, it was her fault.
Yeah, it certainly was. It's, you know, we've seen a lot of drivers after the raft of penalties that were dished out following the Chinese V-Prix. We, 4 drivers spinning and just rejoining in front of people. So far this race, it looked as though.
Hang on.
And last time out was. Sorry?
Sorry, I'm just going to cut across you because I think I just saw Ellington and these guys are actually catching up to the hard-tired runners because they only just went around that corner.
Well, yeah, they would be. They're on fresh mediums.
Well, it's an exciting talking point, Bradley. Don't downgrade it.
Sorry, I'm just not exactly hopeful of any kind of move. I mean, as Klaas makes his 4th pit stop then and hands the lead back to Nathaniel Powers. I mean, potentially, I suppose. We've got Kinnaman on mediums in arguably a faster car than Hoskins in the AMR. Potentially Hutchinson as well in the first, and on softer tyres. So,
obviously, the 2 teammates from Westwood's most successful season, 2015, with that beautiful yellow car.
Yes, Hoskins and Kinnaman.
Speaking of cars, there's been a development in the news this week from Series CEO Nikolai de Morley. And
beautiful segue.
Thank you. I love segues. Yeah, so the cars are having a bit of a revamp in design for 2018. They're going to look rather more similar to their Formula 1 counterparts. They're going to be lower, wider, sleeker. They've got a much lower rear wing because I think that the dimensions of that have been very much changed. And they're going to have much fatter tyres. And also the addition of a shark fin and a mandatory low nose. And we've had some concept images, I think, on the site.
Is this where you want me to jump in?
Yeah.
You were doing such a wonderful job, I didn't want to say anything.
Well, I wanted you to partake in the glory.
Yes, obviously it was announced on Thursday. Yeah, that there would be a new car for next season. What are my thoughts on it? Do you know, from a team point of view, I'm really disappointed because we've just got a handle on this one and now it's bloody changing.
Yeah, I've got to admit that changing the chassis with such short notice is a bit. I mean, it happened before with the previous chassis change where we. Oh, is that Kiara going into the pits?
I think it was, yeah.
Obviously, we've seen it before with the previous change of chassis design, but unfortunately, the teams once again have had the warning of about half a season. So any designs really prior to this would have been scrapped. In terms of the look itself, I've got to say, oh,
that's Kinnaman and
Hoskins.
Yeah, that one.
So the fight for third is on.
Well, he'd still have to get Hutchinson.
Yeah, but look at how quickly they've caught up to Hoskins already, who was catching Hutchinson. But maybe he's burned his tyres out doing that, to be honest.
Okay, well, I'll give you that. He's got 14 laps. Come on, Tumo.
Give us something to talk about at the dying laps. The fight for the podium. Oh, Ellington's made his way past Simon on track. Here we go. Sykes is going to make an overtake, possibly on his teammate Nowasinki. He's down the inside. Nowasinki's got the better grip and purchase around the outside, though, and he takes the place back with a brief yellow flag in sector 3. Wow. The racing's starting to kick off again, boys, with 14 laps left to go.
Yeah, it certainly is. Right, where were we? Car, next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I personally, I think we've got fantastic racing in the series at the moment and have done for the last couple of years with this car. I don't see the need to change it. And I'm not, you know, this is no longer coming from a pure team point of view. This is coming from a spectator and a fan point of view. The racing's been brilliant, and we've seen in Formula 1, the other series, with this new car, perhaps not quite as much.
Racing's been very spread out.
I don't see the need or requirement for a new car in this series. I think it's been going perfectly fine as it is, and we've got some fantastic looking machines out there.
I'd have to agree with you there.
Sorry?
I'd have to agree with you there. I mean, look at even this race.
Yeah, you know, this is a circuit that produces very little in the way of overtaking it. And okay, I think we've been massively aided here by the huge variations in strategy that we've seen. But we've seen some incredible racing here on a circuit that isn't meant to produce it at all.
And I think that just does it all to say that the setup we've got at the moment is a fantastic one. I mean, maybe they're hoping to rejig the order, but that didn't really work last time because Franklin was still at the front. You know, nobody really moved about that much in position. Yeah, it suited a couple of drivers' driving styles a bit more, but as we see Simon and Kanga making their fourth pit
I'm just gonna divert the talk from the cars a second. They've just made their fourth pit stop at the end of lap 56, and these tyres last 13 laps.
Oh yeah, good
Those
spot.
soft-tyred runners are on for 4 stops.
How have they done that?
I'm not quite sure. Well, when did they... lap 13? They're sort of doing 13 laps a stint, aren't they? So 13, 26, 39.
Gee, that can't be right. Something doesn't add up there.
A lot of them must have been out of week 14 laps out then.
Yeah.
Because that would be 14, 28, 42, 56.
Yeah, and that would put them on a 4 stop. Yeah, you're right.
So I reckon, yeah, some of these... So maybe they've pitted on lap 13 initially, but then they've eked out 14, 15 laps in later stints. That's a lot of debris around the final couple of corners.
Yeah. I'll be wondering to see just where that's come from.
I wonder if that's from the Thunder Halverson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Great minds, you see.
Yeah, and fools never differ.
I like that. Yeah, so that's very interesting. I wonder if... I mean, surely Class isn't going to be able to make it as well.
Probably not, given the amount he's been thrashing that
When did he
car around
pit,
the circuit. Like lap 49, 50?
No, it must have been later than that.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Honestly,
I'm intrigued by that.
remember.
Anyway.
So this battle for third is probably, I'd say, on now.
So yeah, that means everyone, aside from potentially the 2 Downtons up front, although I think they've got a big enough gap not to have to worry, has made their last pit stop.
Yeah. Oh, there goes Azolia down the inside of Judson Sykes. Oh, nearly gets caught up with Noah Sinky.
Yeah, but Sykes, I think, might be balked by his teammate here slightly, but not enough.
No, luckily Alexi managed to get a bit of a jiggle on out of that hairpin there.
Yeah, so, obviously, sorry, I just wanted to point that out while I saw it. Going back to the new cars for next year, it's something different. You know, the decision's been made. I think changes happen. We roll with them. We always do. It's going to be interesting from an engineering point of view. Something slightly different. There's down the inside of Zolia goes Alar Kanga at the final corner, and I think the Estonian is going to make that step.
Yeah, they're going to be side by side down the pit straight now. We've got Enrique Ruiz looking to pick up the scraps of any accident. They're still wheel to wheel.
Kanga around the outside of turn 1. I thought Zolia was going to have that with the inside line, as 3rd to 6th are nose to tail.
Yeah, I think they've got someone catching, unless that's just a lapped car.
It's very likely. Adrian Simon behind them is on fresh soft tyres.
Oh, can't see them there. We'll have to wait for the pit straight. But yeah, you're right. They're very close. So it's going to be about who blinks first, I guess. Not in terms of pitting, but in terms of making a mistake. as we see Schneider make his way past Campos, you wouldn't be very
Six
happy in that
pit
cockpit.
stops. Yeah, he's had a bit of a troubled race, hasn't he?
Yeah, lost his front wing twice. And there's the gap that Powers has back to Class, an entire pit straight, who might have to pit again. Oh, there goes Zazolia.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
that's
a
a shame. Oh. He was driving a good race and he was really mixing it up there. But I don't think he's going to make that ground back.
Probably not, no, to be honest. And that could have also damaged his tyres.
Yeah, as we see a bit of a fog coming over the track at the final corner. Certainly looks darker there. In fact, it looks darker altogether. Then there I don't even know. Spanish weather.
It did look a bit darker there, I'll give you that.
Yellow flag in sector 3, I wonder who's there.
And 2 briefly, but nothing seems to have come of it.
Not yet. Noticing that the medium-tired runners, sorry to cut across you, are taking a much wider line there, carrying much more speed through this final sector.
And Kinnaman with a great run there, but unfortunately nothing you can do because the straight's not long enough and there's not really an overtaking point at the end of it.
No, to make a move there would have jeopardised, well, at least 2 races.
Yeah, very much so. So I mean, going back to these cars, as I say, yeah, it's getting very dark, isn't it?
Yeah.
I wonder if we're going to have a sprinkle or two in these last few laps just to liven things up even more.
That would make it crazy. Everyone scrambling to the pits.
Or deciding to risk it.
Oh yeah. But then you see that... Oh, sorry. There, it's sunny.
And it is again at the final corner.
I think it must be about our angles. Our cameramen aren't really doing a fab job.
I think they're doing a wonderful job, as they always do. Leave them alone. Those men and women work hard, I'll have you know.
They sit behind a camera.
Yeah, but have you seen the speed at which they move those cameras when cars go by?
No, because I'm generally looking through the camera, not at the camera.
Yeah, but when you have a camera on a cameraman, it's mighty impressive. But yeah,
Anyway.
these cars for next year, you know, changes happen. I don't think the cars look too bad. I'll be completely honest. I'm not a huge fan of the side profile with the Kanga spins. Oh, and he stopped in the middle of the track. Oh,
and that's just compounded. Yeah. To be fair, Zazolia saw him there from a mile away. Could have easily got the car slowing down. You can't. I mean, obviously you can't stop on the racing line, but
yeah,
Zazolia got himself in that situation.
Yes, Zazolia drove into him, but you can't just park it in the middle of the track.
No,
So,
I think it's 6-1, half a dozen the other there.
Kanga's at fault for stopping in the middle of the track. However, Zazolia's only penalised himself there by taking his front wing off.
See, for me, that's quite an interesting case because obviously recently we've had a lot of drivers unsafely rejoining the racing line. Oh, here we go. Kinnaman's down the inside of Ellington. Is he going to be able to make anything stick?
Hoskins.
No, not Hoskins, that guy too. Sorry, I'm just remembering that Ellington was the AMR last year. No, he can't quite get that traction on the exit, but...
Yeah, and these two battling is allowing Hutchinson to build a slight gap.
Yeah, and well, he's at the moment he's still on track for his second podium in what, 3 races?
It would be, yeah.
That's not bad when you consider where they were last year.
As Kanga trying to make a bit of ground up. Backup is down the inside of Stuart Harrison. I don't think he's going to pull that off.
No.
Nope.
It's not the place to overtake.
Ruiz has suddenly shot up to 9th. Judson Sykes has lost a couple of places. So I think he probably got hung out to dry there as Ruiz and then Kiara Thunder went past him.
Yeah, so they're still very much getting it on for positions at the back of the points. I don't know, that was just a messy sentence from start to finish.
It's okay, we know what you mean.
Good.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the new side profile. Oh, for flip's
They're all
sake.
chucking it now. Oh, there you go. Yeah, just take him off the track.
Who was that? That was Harrison,
That was
wasn't it?
Or him. Yeah, it was Harrison.
Yeah, not a fan of the side profile of this new car. I think it's the rear wing. Don't get me wrong, I love the low rear wing and the width of it. I think it does look quite nice, but it just looks so small from the side, and it just looks a bit strange to me. As for the addition of the shark fin, I think I'm in the minority that actually really like it. I don't know, as I say, things change. I think it'll look good, but I think the cars we've got at the moment look good. Yeah, whatever, really.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a change that we'll have to see the teams adapt to after only 2 years of running this design. So obviously, I don't know, maybe the CEO has a very changeable mind, but
well, I think we've established that already.
definitely.
We're what, 5 years into this series, and we've had. I mean, I'm not criticising at all. I think it's been incredible, but we've already had a raft of changes.
Yeah, indeed. Oh, hello. Kinnaman is setting himself up maybe for a run down the straight now.
He is. He's got a much better exit, and in the slipstream of Will Hoskins. However, Hoskins just looked like he had the legs of Kinnaman there slightly.
Yeah, Hoskins powered by that AMR unit, which we don't really talk about a lot, but it's a solid engine, really.
Yeah, as Ruiz very wide, looking to try and find a way past Alexei Helsinki. And is he going to go around the outs? No, he couldn't pull that off. Now that surprises me.
Mind you, speaking of engines, the other change to next year is we're going down from V12s to V10 engines.
Well, now we were discussing this at the start before the race, and we couldn't remember what engines we're running.
You made me confident we were already on the V12s. How dare you? You are my brother, Anakin.
What?
That's a Star Wars reference. Moving on.
Okay. So what have we got? I mean, we've got... Oh, sorry. We've got a couple of battles around, haven't we? As Simon is now rather rapidly catching these guys. In fact, even the Ingram has caught them.
Yeah, that's just how much they're holding each other up, or that could just be the lack of pace in those hard-tired running cars. Now then, I mean, because obviously Ellington and Kinnaman are going to have to get a move... Oh, sorry, not either of them. They're going to have to get a move on if they want to take these places, because they're rapidly running out of laps. They're about to start lap 67. You got to wonder if they just taken too much out of their tyres there. But you're right, Simon is definitely on course to maybe cause some problems for them.
Yeah, as just note, on to lap 66 now. Klaas has not made his 5th stop yet. I wonder if he's going to try and eke these out.
He might well do, but I think he's just closed the gap down to Powers a little bit there. I could be wrong, because obviously our timing screen is a bit interesting.
Yeah.
But
Ruiz past Helsinki.
Oh yeah. I hadn't even noticed that.
Nope, nor had I.
Oh, well done, Ruiz.
In fact, that was Powers very, very close to Glass Van Schnellheid. We just saw it on screen. There is only literally a couple of car lengths, well, okay, quite a few car lengths, but only seconds between them.
Okay.
But that's ruined it.
Silly goose.
Unless Powers pitted early, didn't he? Unless Powers still has to pit, in which case Klaas on the soft tyres is going to get an undercut.
Yeah, which we've seen is extremely powerful here. But it's whether Klaas comes out in clean air.
It is, and there seem to be a lot of cars going down the pit straight at the moment from the sound of things. However, I think he had quite a gap there.
Amazing one.
And so this is all about now whether Powers can eke these tyres to the end, or whether he is going to have to be the first medium runner to make a third stop. Not because of incidents.
You'd think he'd be better off losing the time and just taking it really slow. As we see
down
a
the inside
great
of Thunder.
move from Simon there.
Oh yeah, that's Simon on Ellington.
Yeah, and he's taking the place. Ellington's trying to fight back, but that Renault engine is actually holding its ground on the straight. But he's on the inside line, and he just runs out of space.
He's lost out to the Campos as well. No, to the Ingram.
To the Campos.
One race he's been back in it, and I've fallen straight back into that trap.
Oh, you're doing your best. I mean, I don't feel like that overtake was entirely fair by Simon. He didn't leave any room on the...
Oh, that's an engine going, and that is Alexei Norsinki.
Oh no.
But he only has, what, 2 laps to hold on?
67, 68.
Powers pits! Powers is in the pits!
This is big.
Nathaniel Powers then, with just 2 laps to run in the Spanish V-Prix, has
Klaas
pitted
is running
from the
the
lead.
final corner. Klaas is going to take the lead of the V-Prix.
Well, it's a short pit lane. Where is Powers going to feed back out? Klaas has gone through. Powers is exiting the pit lane. They're going to be side by side. It's turn 1. It's wheel to wheel. Klaas has got it. No, Powers around the outside takes it.
Oh. Wow, but now this is a real fight. Klaas on a faster tyre, already warmed up. And meanwhile, Powers has got to get those tyres heated up. And he's just entering a, well, I would say a fast part of the track, but it's a hairpin after this. But, yeah, no, Powers is already gapping. So, Klaas has got to get a move on because it's now or never.
Oh.
And Schneider making a 7th pit stop. Bloody hell. It's a long... He's about to be lapped by his teammate. That's how many pit stops he's made.
And Zazolia as well. With a pit stop there.
Further now. Oh yeah, of course, lost his front wing.
Gee, I genuinely thought they were going to come together there at turn 1.
Yeah, that was very close. And heads would have rolled, I believe, in the debriefing.
Yeah, no, very much. But thankfully, they've held on, and we now have, well, I mean, a couple of corners, but a lap to go. However, I don't think Klaas has given up on this. He's on, as you mentioned, the softer tyres. Both sets, both Klaas's softs and Powers' mediums, are perfectly fresh. And we have 1 lap to go then. There's less than a second between the 2 Downtons for the lead of this race. Arden Hutchinson leads a 4-car train for 3rd. I don't think that... Well, no, 5-car train for 3rd. It's tricky for them to overtake, but I don't think that battle's quite over.
No, obviously Simon on those fresh softs, we will be looking to maybe even take a top 5 position. He'll probably take at this point.
Yeah, very much so. It's as that's Kanga battling with Sykes and Norsinki. Norsinki, whose BMW engine is he's still holding on at the moment. I don't want to jinx it, but
limping home.
He is, and it's the last lap. Well, it is for the leaders. I don't think Norsinki's been lapped, so he will have to do the full distance.
Yeah. So we'll see if his engine can hold out. Hopefully it can.
Yeah, that'll harm him, but I think Klaas has given up on this. Well, not given up, but I don't think he's going to be able to do this now. Powers only has a handful of corners to go, so unless he bins it at the last one again, I think he's going to hold on to this.
Yeah, absolutely. He's driven a fantastic race.
Oh,
really
and there's Norsinki at the side of the track. As Powers rounds the final corner, he has held on. It was touch and go between the pair of them, him and his teammate. But Powers wins the Spanish V-Prix ahead of Klaas van Schnellheid. There is barely anything between them at the line. A great race between the pair of them. And now we wait for Arden Hutchinson, who has a handful of corners to go. And he's quite far back, I'm not going to lie. But he's driven a brilliant race on those hard tyres. That strategy has worked absolutely fantastically for both him and Will Hoskins behind. And Arden Hutchinson has 1 more corner to go. He rounds it now. He's made it round, and Hutchinson is going to finish 3rd for the 2nd race in 3. Will Hoskins 4th, Kinnaman, Simon, Ellington, all crossed the line in quick succession. 3rd down to 7th. It's we've seen a lot of cars pretty close.
Yeah. Now we're waiting on, I think like Ruiz and Kanga to finish, unless they've already finished.
I'd imagine, yeah, they've probably either just crossed the line or crossed the line. That made sense in my head.
Yeah, but here's the man of the day.
Yeah, Nathaniel Powers. He tried to throw it away, didn't he?
He came really close, but he did really well actually to recover from that spin.
Yeah, and he's held on well to take the victory ahead of teammate Klaas-Van Snelheid and Arden Hutchinson. So Nathaniel Powers holds on to win them by less than a second from his teammate Arden Hutchinson, takes his second podium in 3 races with third, Will Hoskins a fantastic fourth, Timo Kinnaman a brilliant drive to fifth, Lewis Ellington a great return as well for him to the series in 7th. There we see at the bottom Puccio Giordano and Felix Bayer retired after their collision earlier in the race, and Nathaniel Powers with the fast lap. In the championship, Klaas-Van Snelheid leads, but now just by 4 points from Powers, who's up to second. Simon slips to third. Timo Kinnaman has climbed to fifth with that result. Arden Hutchinson has also gained ground. Looking onto the second page, Lewis Ellington has obviously picked up places as he's just joined the championship. 6 points in his first race. Stuart Harrison had his best result of the season for Meteor and has gained ground, while Diego Campos joins at the bottom. And in the Constructors' Championship, Downton now have a 58-point lead over DS Master, while Westwood have repassed Franklin for third. But that's all from our race here today in Jerez. So from both me and Harry, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time for round 7 from Hockenheim, Germany.